Please subscribe to my channel for more stories like this. My folks scoffed. When will your children ever match your sister's kids' achievements? My sister grinned slyly. Maybe a decade from now. I just gave a calm smile and replied, guess I'm done covering your mortgage then. Later, the phone wouldn't stop ringing. My sister sent a text, please. I responded with 4 words, wait another 10 years. I'm Daniel, 35, the middle kid. Always the helper, the one who knows everyone's food allergies and brings extra chairs. I fix Wi-Fi, put together furniture without a single curse, and keep spare chargers in my car like they're snacks. Married to Lena for a decade, we've got Max, 8, who collects stones and says sorry when one falls, and June, 5, who's convinced every dog is called Kevin. I teach math at a community college by day and tutor teens at night. It's not glamorous, but it's real. It covers the bills if they behave. My older sister, Tessa, is the star of the family, marketing exec with a dazzling smile and picture-perfect posts. My younger brother, Leo, drifts between jobs, always shocked when rent's due. Our parents revolve around Tessa, like she's the sun. It's been that way forever. Her childhood art projects were museum-worthy. Mine were nice, but try harder. Leo strummed a guitar once, and suddenly we're a musical dynasty. This backdrop matters because of what went down last Sunday at my parents' potluck. Paper plates, fancy napkins, Dad's old speakers softly playing retro tunes. Tessa showed up late with bakery cupcakes, presenting them like trophies, then launched into a speech about her twins' robotics team and travel soccer, rattling off their wins like a news ticker. Mom's eyes sparkled, the way they do for Tessa's scorecards. Dad nodded so vigorously I thought he'd strain something. Lena brought chicken and rice. I brought a salad. Max and June spun around the coffee table until Mom warned, watch the vase, in that tone that says, your kids are chaos. Tessa's twins sat primly on the sofa, faces glowing from tablet screens, posture flawless. Dinner was a noisy mess, stories piled on top of each other. Cousin updates, a neighbor's roof fiasco, Dad's decade-old rant about kids these days. I chewed, smiled, and topped off water glasses, my usual role when tension buzzes like a faulty appliance. Then Mom dropped the question that cracked the room open. So, Daniel, she said, voice all cheery performance, when will your kids ever shine like Tessa's? I froze, fork midair. They're 8 and 5. Tessa smirked, selfie ready with a cupcake. 10 years, probably, she quipped, half joking. Dad chuckled. She's got a point. Lena's hand pressed my knee under the table. I heard my chair creak, June asking Max to swap a carrot for bread, and a roar in my ears, my blood pressure acting up. It's not a race, I said, keeping it gentle. Tessa tilted her head. Everything's a race. How else do you gauge progress? Mom chimed in, voice sugary but sharp. We just want the best for your kids. Maybe aim higher. I forced a tight smile, like a sealed package. I didn't say what burned inside. I didn't mention my students texting me at midnight about algebra, because I'm their safe space. I didn't say Max just mastered shoelaces and it nearly broke me. I didn't say we skipped travel teams because money flows out one way every month. Instead, I pivoted. Who's up for coffee? As I got up to brew it, Tessa tossed out, think Max would focus better if he dropped those goofy rocks? I glanced at Mom. She fiddled with the salt shaker. Dad grinned at his plate. Lena's fingers tapped my knee, her way of saying I'm here. That was the first spark. I held back. I poured coffee, passed sugar, laughed on cue, and drove home with my jaw locked. That night, after the kids were asleep, I sat at our dining table, hands wrapped around a cold mug, staring at a wall clock I've meant to fix for months. Its uneven ticks echoed. I counted them, weighing what mattered most, peace, pride, cash, or shielding my kids from a race they never entered. I didn't fight that night. I brushed my teeth, crawled into bed, and told myself it was nothing. But by morning, that question still weighed on my chest like a boulder. It wasn't about cupcakes or twins. It was a decade-long deal that stopped feeling silent. When Tessa bought her house, it was a reach. She texted a photo of the keys in her polished hand, captioned, "Dreams delivered." 2 months later, she called, voice shaky. We hit a bump. Just temporary. Escrow nonsense. An investor bailed. I'll pay you back soon. I trusted her like always. Her tears sounded like rain on glass. I agreed. A few months stretched to a year. Then 2. Then 5. That bridge became a freeway. She set up an auto transfer. $1.50 from my account to her mortgage every third of the month. I told myself it was family, a phase. She'd catch up. We'd laugh later. Every nudge got, next quarter, promise. Big project coming. Or, we're good for it. Lena knew, of course. She shares my account, my bed, my life. We agreed to help until we couldn't, but couldn't got blurry. We cut groceries, stretched shoes an extra month, limited max to weekly soccer, and June to free Saturday dance. Our car outlived its warranty. Vacations became later. We shaved off small joys, library trips, park days, discounted ice cream. Lena stretched 4 chicken breasts into 6 meals with a spreadsheet called Extend. My parents knew, too. They never said thanks. They said, family lifts family, or, we're so proud of how tight you kids are, which meant they liked the perks. When Tessa posted her blinding marble kitchen remodel, Mom commented, gorgeous, with a string of heart emojis. She didn't text me to check in. When I paid June's ear surgery bill, Mom sent a heart for a photo of June with a sticker, then a link to Tessa's HOA newsletter about a block party. Call me foolish. I've called myself worse in the shower. It's temporary, I told the tiles. It's family, I told the mirror. It's not much, I told the ceiling, watching our savings crawl like a wounded bug. The small slights stacked up like loose change. Tessa brought store-bought desserts to potlucks, never dishes. She took our kids to a trampoline park, charged my card by mistake, then Venmo'd $12 with a glitter emoji for fun. The mortgage transfer was silent, the petty digs were loud. Together, they set a rhythm where I paid, and everyone called me kind. Lena stayed my rock, her gift. She'd ask, you good, when I stared at our banking app like it held secrets. I'd say, yeah, because truth felt like sparking a fire in a paper house. One night, she said softly, we can stop. I said, after summer. Then summer came, and Tessa's twins needed camp funds to stay engaged. I felt like the bad guy in someone else's script. My parents kept singing her praises. Tessa worked so hard, Mom said twice per call. She deserves nice things. I said, so does everyone. She said, don't be bitter. I wasn't exhausted, maybe. Not twins, but close. Every month on the 2nd, my shoulders tensed. On the 3rd, the transfer hit. On the 4th, I reworked our budget like tuning a wobbly wheel. I took extra tutoring gigs, told students, pay what you can, and meant it, then stayed up crunching numbers for our life. Why didn't I confront Tessa sooner? Because holiday peace costs more than money. Because my parents' approval is a coin I still collect, even if it's worthless. Because I like being the helper. Because when we were kids, Tessa let me sleep in her room during a storm, telling me stories until I dozed off. She was 14, bored. I was 9, terrified. Memories cling. But then came Sunday's dinner, that question. When will your kids ever shine like Tessa's? Her smirk. 10 years, probably. Laughter like ice in a glass. Lena's hand on my knee. On the drive home, Lena was quiet for 5 minutes, then said, I'm proud of our kids. I nodded. Same. She paused. Do you hear it? Hear what? Their story, where success is travel teams and fancy counters. I swallowed. I hear it. She stared out the window. We need our own story. That night, I lay awake, eyes on the ceiling fan, picturing our bank account like a tub with a slow leak. I saw Tessa's marble, my students' faces when math clicked, Max sorting rocks by shade, June whispering good night, Kevin to a dog named something else. I saw my parents' faces, glowing for Tessa, stern for me. By morning, the boulder in my chest hadn't budged. I made breakfast, packed lunches, kissed small heads, drove to work with the radio off. During office hours, I taught a nursing student about compound interest. She said, I'm bad at math. I said, you're just out of practice. She smiled. I wrote practice on the board and thought of our life. That night, we ate leftovers and popsicles. The kids built a blanket fort in the living room. Watching them breathe in their tent, I made a quiet choice, not anger, just math. The bridge was closed. Breaking points aren't loud. Mine happened at my parents' table, a pitcher of iced tea sweating onto a doily. The next Saturday, Tessa wanted to map out spring, birthdays, games, trips, photos, gifts. Mom treats calendars like family. We met at noon. I brought pasta salad. Tessa brought a schedule. Lena brought calm. We got through April and part of May when Dad, out of nowhere, said, "So, Daniel, how do you get your kids into something more elite?" He said elite like it was caviar. I inhaled. "They're 8 and 5. He shrugged. "You're the teacher. You know early counts." Mom added, sing-song, "We just don't want them lagging behind Tessa's kids." Tessa sipped her water, smirking. "They'll catch up. Maybe in 10 years. Lena's hand steadied my thigh. The pitcher dripped. The doily soaked. The calendar paused. I set my pen down. "Then I'm done paying your mortgage," I said, softer than I felt. Not a jab. A fact like reporting rain. The room froze. Mom blinked. Dad's mouth formed a small O. Tessa's face cycled shock, math, charm, then landed on puzzled innocence. "What do you mean?" "The transfer on the 3rd, I said. "The one I've done for years." Mom's brows shot up. "That's private family stuff." "I'm family," I said. "It's my stuff." Tessa laughed, sharp. "It's temporary. We discussed this." "We did," I said. "Temporary was months. We're at year 6. She waved it off. "Bonuses are weird, you know that." Dad found his voice. "You can't just pull the plug." "I can," I said. "And I am." Mom's tone sharpened. "We thought you were generous." "I am," I said. "Generous isn't endless." Tessa leaned in. "You're making my kids pay for grown-up problems? That's harsh." She glanced at Mom like they'd rehearsed. I shook my head. "I'm not making your kids do anything. I'm stopping something I shouldn't have done this long." "What's changed?" Mom snapped, like I'd turned off fairness. I looked at Lena. She looked back. We breathed. "I heard you," I said, "asking when my kids would match Tessa's. I heard you laugh. I heard 10 years. I realized I'm funding a story that hurts my family." "That's dramatic," Dad said. "Maybe," I said. "But it's true." Mom pointed. "We raised you." "And I love you," I said. "This isn't Payback. It's closing a chapter." Tessa tried a new tack. "Okay, fine. Can you wait till summer?" "June." "No," I said. She blinked, genuinely stunned. "Wow, power trip." I stood, not a flounce, just standing. "I'll call the bank Monday. I'll cancel the transfer. I'll send you the total we've paid, so you can plan." No more debate. "Daniel," Mom hissed. "Family doesn't do this. Family also doesn't expect one sibling to bankroll another's life forever," Lena said, voice steady, speaking for the first time. Everyone turned. She met Mom's eyes. "We're raising 2 great kids. We won't apologize for them loving rocks and library books over trophies." Silence buzzed. Tessa's lips tightened. "You'll regret this when it wrecks our bond." "I hope not," I said. "I hope it saves it. But if it only saves my kids' college fund, I'm okay with that." Dad rubbed his forehead. "You've always been touchy." "I've always been a person," I said. We left before dessert. In the car, Lena let out a long breath, like a tire deflating. Max piped up from the back. "Can we get slushies?" We did. Their tongues turned blue. We went home, built a fort with every blanket, and I lay under it, staring through fabric at the ceiling, feeling half scared, half free. Monday, during my lunch break, I called the bank, canceled the transfer, and asked the rep to confirm twice. "All set," she said. I said, "Thanks," like I just fixed a small tear in my life. I emailed Tessa. Transfer stopped. "We've paid $82,800 over 6 years. We can't continue. Best wishes planning forward." Short, no quips. By 4 p.m., my phone blew up. "Call me now." "Are you serious?" "Answer your mom." I let them pile up. Then text, "We need to talk." "You ambushed us. The girls have piano." "The bank strict." "Wow." I didn't reply for an hour. I was teaching, and Lena said, let it breathe. When I checked, there were 14 missed calls, 9 from Mom, 3 from Tessa, 1 each from Dad and my aunt, who lives for drama. Tessa texted, please, just till summer. I typed erased, typed. Wait 10 more years, I sent. Petty sure, but true, she'd said at first. I flipped my phone face down and graded quizzes. At 6 p.m., we ate pasta, peas, and garlic bread from stale loaf ends. My phone went wild. I shelved it. Max described a rock that looked like a spud. June asked if potatoes are rocks. Lena smiled with her whole face. After cleanup, I grabbed my phone warily. Mom, how could you shame? Your sister. I'd only emailed Tessa. Dad, this is between you kids. Meaning, fix it so I don't have to. Aunt, your mom's crying. Grandma, call me. Tessa, you're cruel. Then, I didn't know you were tallying. Then, I'll pay you back. Then, we'll talk tomorrow. You'll chill. I sent one message to the family chat and my parents separately. No excuses, no negotiations. We helped for 6 years. We're done. Don't call Lena about this. I can share financial planning resources. I love you. This is a boundary. Minutes later, Mom called. I answered. She opened with, we're disappointed, in her sermon voice, then tried, we sacrificed so much for you. Like childhood is a blank check. Then, you're breaking family harmony. I said, harmony isn't one person paying quietly while being ridiculed. She said, don't twist my words. I said, you said them Sunday. Silence. Then she cried. Small gasps that used to unravel me. They still pulled. I waited. When she steadied, I said, we're okay, you and me, but I'm not budging. She switched to practical. Tessa needs time. She's had time, I said. You're airing our laundry, she said. I'm claiming my money, I said. I didn't know you were counting, she said. That's how budgets work, I said. We hung up, no bow tied. I locked my phone, bone tired. Next morning, Tessa texted, we'll do $200 a month till summer. You cover the rest. I read it twice, thinking it was a joke. No, I replied. She sent a mortgage account screenshot. Look, I'm trying. Then, I've always had your back, with a list, rides as teens, a hoodie she bought me, a 6-hour babysitting stint with 40 social media posts. I appreciate those, I wrote. This is different. She wrote, you're unreal. Dad sent, be reasonable. I replied, we are. He said, your tone's disrespectful. I said, so was Sunday. By lunch, 3 voicemails, Aunt, be the bigger person. Grandma, families fight, then eat cake. Tessa's husband, Evan, bro, we're cutting back too. His struggles? Canceled ski trip, delayed patio, a nanny who won't go full time. I laughed into my desk because rage was the alternative. At 3 p.m., a past due notice for Tessa's mortgage hit my inbox. She'd used my email once, never updated it. I forwarded it, you've got this. She replied, monster. I took a breath and did something that felt like betrayal, but wasn't. I made a simple budget template and listed resources, a credit counselor, a local workshop, a book that saved us. I sent it. If you want help planning, I'm free Tuesday or Thursday after 8. 10 minutes later, she replied, I'm not your student. That night, the family chat tried humor. Mom posted her cat in a box. Dad sent a Monday meme on a Wednesday. No one mentioned the issue. At 11 p.m., Tessa texted, fine, 1 month, then you resume till Q4. I set my phone to silent and slept 6 hours, woke, slept 2 more. It felt like shaking a fever. The aftermath rippled. Mom went quiet for 2 days, then texted, dinner Sunday. I asked, are we rehashing? No, she said. We went. It was subdued. Tessa skipped it. Dad rambled about weather like it owed him. Mom served lasagna, saying to no one, some think boundaries are walls. They are, I said. A week later, Tessa called Lena directly, crossing a line. Lena texted the family chat, send financial questions to Daniel. I'm not playing go-between. My love for Lena broke records. Mom wrote, we don't use therapy words, which screamed therapy. Tessa posted a cryptic betrayal quote over coffee. Her friends hearted it. I muted her for 30 days. I expected cousin fallout. 2 messaged privately. 1. Proud of you. We thought we were the only ones covering stuff. Another. Love, Tessa. But yeah, that felt like a cold blanket. End of the month. No transfer left my account. The balance sat still. I stared like it might move. I put $300 in savings, labeled Fort. Took Max to a rock shop with $10. He picked 3, paid proudly. June chose a pink rock, named it Kevin. We got full price ice cream. Next bill cycle, Tessa paid late, then on time, then late. She sent screenshots like report cards. I sent thumbs up. Once she texted, happy watching me struggle? I wrote, I'm not watching. I'm raising my family. You can handle hard things. She said, don't therapize me. I said, okay. My parents tried every angle, guilt. We're disappointed, flattery. You're so responsible, downplaying. It's not much, duty. We're your parents, shame. People will talk, nostalgia. Remember when? I stuck to my script, I love you. We helped 6 years. We're done. This isn't punishment. It's a boundary. It felt mechanical, but it worked. 2 months in, Lena and I opened a college account for the kids. The banker asked for a name. Lena said Future. I said Fort. We settled on Future Fort. We deposited $100, then $50 more from an SAT boot camp. Small but huge. We told the kids our way. We're saving for later, I said at bedtime. Like snacks. June asked. Lots of snacks called tuition, Lena added. Max asked if college has rocks. Geology, I said. He whispered, cool, like a vow. Month 3. Mom asked for grocery help. I said, we'll bring a dish Sunday. Not the same, she said. I know, I said. She hung up softly, progress. Then, out of nowhere, Tessa called a Tuesday night. I made a budget, she said bristly. It sucks. They're not poetry, I said. Can you check it? We did, over Zoom, no snark. We cut the patio, paused the nanny, kept weekly piano. Found $480 in sneaky subscriptions. When we hung up, she muttered, thanks. I said, proud of you. She said, don't. I said, okay. She cried for 10 seconds, then hung up. It didn't fix all. It shifted something. No big hugs or perfect sorries. The story just tilted. My parents still rave about Tessa's twins games. I still bring chairs. But now, when someone asks, when will your kids match Tessa's? I say they already do. They're kind and curious. Then I ask who needs more salad. Tessa still posts her grind. I mute sometimes, but she also texts real questions monthly. Auto pay, APR, Costco traps, yes. I answer if I can, say no if I can't. It doesn't end the world. Lena and I added a kitchen whiteboard note, say no early. It's a reminder and a laugh. We say yes to libraries, rocks, park picnics, blanket movie nights, garlicky pasta. We say no to funding someone else's story at our own expense.